Yo, what's good, man? Happy Wednesday. How y'all doing, man? I hope you motherfuckers did your morning routines today. Let's go, baby. How y'all doing, man? Welcome in, baby. Let's go. Yes, sir. Oh, man. We gonna be talking about a couple folks that should have had their morning routines on lock, man. Maybe they would have had some better performances, man. We're gonna talk all about it today. Yes, sir. Oh, man, good vibes only, good vibes only. We almost at the weekend again, man. I feel like every time I look up, this time be flying, man. Welcome in, y'all. How's everybody? Yes, sir. Yup. Today, baby. Trying to find the video like not on YouTube. I don't think I can though. Let me see. Hey man, get settled in. We're gonna be talking about a whole lot of shit today, man. We're gonna be talking about a whole lot today. I got a lot to say about Jimmy Butler and the Warriors, man. I hope y'all did I hope y'all did your Hey man, if y'all have not seen Buddy's morning routine, yo, if y'all have not seen Buddy's morning routine, dog, first of all, these comments are comedy. Yo, what y'all morning routine look like, man? What y'all morning routine looking like, man? Hey, I think. So we're gonna be serious about the Lord's business. I think we all gotta be ass, like motherfucker right here, man. This man did 14 ice water bowl, whatever the fuck, like. Hey, man. Hey, we're going to talk all about it in just 1 second, man. But welcome in for another episode of the Jayson Estrera Show, where we talk about basketball as accurate as possible. And like you just saw right there, we all suck compared to homeboy because we don't get up at 3:53 a.m. every day to get started, to get our 9 o'clock work or call or whatever it is started, man. Like, Sorry. Hey, I think some of these fitness influencers are starting to get a little bit out of control. I think some of these fitness guys have truly gotten out of control. I saw one guy talking about Raymond Felton. It popped up on my feed multiple times, and he's like, I cannot for the life of me understand how a professional athlete that has access to trainers and this, that, and the third, da. And then people are in the comments, well, that fitness influencer was a D1 person in college and yada. You guys just don't understand how professional sports work. And that's totally fine. But y'all don't understand how it fully works. In the sense of scheduling, in the sense of their routine. In that particular case, you didn't see Raymond Felton in the NBA. He was out of shape in the league. So to NBA fans, basketball fans, hoop heads, seeing what Raymond Felton turned out to be ain't a surprise to anybody. He was trending that way when he was on the New York Knicks. Just say you don't know what you're talking about. It's totally fine. But there's a lot of folks out there that don't get. There's some folks out there that don't understand the fact that I'll speak for basketball. I can't speak for every other sport because I watch so much NBA and basketball content. But NBA players don't train as much as y'all think. Their summer training schedule is not their in-season training schedule. Every team don't practice all the time. Like, there are some things that y'all just do not understand, and y'all speak so confidently about it. And it's fine. You are doing what you're doing in your field, which is great. But you when they said they can't understand for the life of them how X, Y, and Z and happen, because you just don't consume that type of content. You wouldn't know, and that's fine. But these fitness guys, man, listen. I think we got to all change our morning routines. I think we all got to change our morning routines. We all got to get on the rise and grind vibe, like, because apparently we're all doing something wrong. and to me, the funniest part in Homeboy's training routine, right? The funniest thing, that motherfucker woke up at 3:53 to get to the gym at 6:30. That man woke up at 3:53 to get to the gym at 6:30. Like, what are you doing? Hit the pool? Like, just doing mad useless shit. Just doing a whole bunch of nothing. Motherfucker wiped his face with the banana peel. Yo, why people gotta lie on the internet, man? Like, why do people feel the need to lie on the internet? It is the funniest thing to me. Like, he is getting fried online right now. He is getting fried. I wonder if he's responded. I wonder if Buddy has responded to any of this shit, because he is getting super clowned. Oh my God! I think Jimmy needed to take some of his morning routine from him, because that's just not, it didn't work out for them last night. Now, let's get into it, because we do have a lot to talk about today. Let's get some of the bad news out the way, right? Let's get some of the bad stuff. Let's get some of the sad stuff out the way. Some bad news out the way. So we can move on with the rest of the episode. So let's start with injuries, right? We'll start with JuJu Watkins. Prayers up to her, her in a speedy recovery. You know, JuJu Watkins tore the ACL in her right knee. On a fast break, she didn't even jump. She was getting ready to jump. She had planted the right foot. It looked like she was going to go 1-2 right and to the left and go finish with the right hand. And she just dropped, and she was immediately grabbing her right knee. I could speak from experience when it comes to ACL injury. I tore the ACL in my left knee, and I partially tore my meniscus. So I know a little bit about the recovery. Granted, I'm not no professional athlete, but the timetable, especially back then, was 8 to 12 months is what they used to say, right? And granted, medicine is a little bit different. Players are able to recover from ACL injuries, sometimes even better. We're seeing Paige Beckers going crazy this year. There's a number of players that she can reach out to and lean on for advice, for help, if she has any questions, just anything. And I think that's a real positive thing for her moving forward. I know there's nothing much to pull positive from this at the moment, but she does have those. She does have that, right? The other part in this, and I'm just trying to be positive, is, you know, and it's it's you know, women's basketball, and obviously she's gonna go to the WNBA at some point, but athleticism is a part of the sport, but it's not as crucial as it is in basketball, right? JuJu Watkins is not a high flyer doing crazy shots, right? And so in that sense, I hope it helps her, right? She's not going to be relying on being super explosive, getting to the rim, trying to dunk the ball. The other part in it too is it is her right knee. And being a right-handed player, oftentimes the leg that you jump with on layups, and we've seen her, it's a lot of her moves. She gets into 2-foot jump stops into a shot, into a floater, or she's raising up, jumping off of her left leg. So that is a good sign. The right leg is not the primary leg that she uses to jump off of and whatnot. I will say in today's basketball, though, players use their off leg for moves more than they have in the past. So before, you're driving in, you're doing a 1-2 step into a layup, right? A right to left leg step into a layup. But now, when you're doing Euro steps, you're putting a lot more pressure on that right leg to get to the Euro to the left, right? And even the step back, right? If you're a right-handed player, a lot of right-handed players like to step back to their left, which means you have to push off of your right foot. So outside of those two things in particular for JuJu Watkins, hopefully she's able to recover really well. But yeah, prayers up. Sucks. The other injury is Damian Lillard. And I've been a little tough on Dame lately. His game hasn't been unbelievable. So, but a blood clot right off of the Wemby news. People are bringing up Chris Bosh a lot. My glorious, hey, what's good, Durfee? I need a crown. I got my girl's little tiara for when it was her birthday recently. I gotta put this motherfucker on, but my glorious king, what's good, Durfee? But it might be damn. The thing for me is they put him on blood thinners already. And I don't know what the timeline was for 1B. I don't know how quickly, but it seems like this has been something that's been bothering Dame, just the way that the news came out. I think it kind of explains how he hasn't been playing the best as of late. It really ruins a lot of what Milwaukee was hoping for. Granted, they haven't been playing unbelievable basketball lately. But any hopes that they had of getting to the championship or making something happen in the playoffs, you could throw that in the garbage. And at the same time, you may as well throw Giannis's future in Milwaukee in the garbage too, because everyone thought he was going to leave anyway. And I think this pretty much solidifies that he's not going back. He's not going back. So, man, hopefully Dame is all right. The other one is, and this one is not nearly as serious as the other two, but Jayson Tatum did roll an ankle on a jump shot, on a 3-point jump shot. It was his left ankle. Sabonis got under him. He rolled it. He should be fine. He said he's feeling all right. I wouldn't be surprised if they sat him for a couple games just to make sure that he's good going into the playoffs, but just a bunch of injuries all of a sudden. And where it leads me to the next topic, because all of those players that I've named, JuJu, Dame, Jayson Tatum, they're all one-on-one players, right? And I know we've been talking about one-on-one a lot. Bruce was in here talking about, everything ain't about scoring. And I agree with him to an extent. Because do I think that scoring is overemphasized in the league at times? Yes, absolutely. I do think that there are some points that have to come in context. Like Donovan Mitchell, for example, he doesn't score 30 points a game. but his points are very impactful, right? He gets buckets when the game is close, the other team is making a run. He'll go on like a quick 6-0 run, score 2 or 3 buckets really quickly. Or if they're up 8-9, he'll go and score a couple buckets to make it a 12, 13 point lead, right? And so, but that doesn't show up on the stat sheet. However, shout out to them Tar Heels. That stink, though. Shout out. But I will say, I mean, I wish Bruce were in here so he could come right back at me. But I understand that there's some people that hate how much one-on-one is going on in the NBA in general. But at the very core of the game of basketball, one-on-one is extremely important. Right? If you are good enough in a one-on-one situation to draw a second defender without necessarily having to call some intricate play, then you take that every single time. And I think the part that gets lost is, yes, like I said, there are players that lean on it too heavily, but it is, like I said, extremely important and extremely necessary. And I think that we highlight certain players that maybe don't do that play one-on-one basketball at a high level on really shitty teams, and we don't sometimes highlight the players that are extremely efficient in these one-on-one situations on good teams, right? Because like someone like Jason Tatum, who's become extremely efficient in one-on-one scenarios, his team really benefits off of that, right? His ability to score in one-on-one, forcing help to come over, makes the game a lot easier on everyone around him. We're seeing what Luka's able to do on the Lakers, right? Time and again, we get to see how important that aspect of the game is. And on the other side of one-on-one basketball, you have to be able to guard. You have to be able to keep your man in front of you, because if you can't, now you force your team to have to overextend to help you. We get involved in all of these schemes when, if you can keep your man in front of you, it'll stop a lot of these things that are going on. And this leads me to the Golden State Warriors Miami Heat game last night, because we saw belt to ass 112-86. The Miami Heat beat the brakes off of the Golden State Warriors, who have been on fire. And there were two things in this game that were key for me, right? Obviously, this was Jimmy Butler's return, and he talked a lot of shit. He talking about if Pat Riley better not have anything to say to me, yada yada yada. And as we've seen on the Golden State Warriors, he's been pretty docile. He's been pretty reserved. He's more in a passing role. And last night was the same thing. I think that really hurt the Golden State Warriors last night, because I think, and I got to give Eric Spoelstra some credit, because I think the game plan was really great. Let's try to play Jimmy Butler in one-on-one scenarios with one player as much as possible. We've seen in a lot of games where when Jimmy is on the left block and the mid-post posting up, you have guys creeping over from the nail. You have guys creeping over from the other baseline. That opens up all of these cutting lanes for all of these players, right? You get a cutter, you get a slot cut that can now kick it out, so on and so forth. It creates a lot of action, like what we just spoke about in one-on-one scenarios. If you can force the help without setting a play and makes the game easy. And I think the Miami Heat, Eric Spoelstra, understanding who Jimmy Butler is at this current time, was banking on him being a passive player last night, and it hurt them. There was a number of scenarios where Tyler Hero was guarding Jimmy Butler, and he should have been posting his ass up, but he wasn't. And I think it really went to the Miami Heat's benefit to try as much as possible to stay in single coverage to prevent those other guys from getting hot. Because they really could have used 30-something out of Jimmy Butler last night. They really, really genuinely could have used 30-something out of Jimmy Butler. Granted, he was starting to look for his shot in the third quarter. I think it was one quarter too late. I can understand the thinking bit behind, all right, I'm going to try to feel the game out in the first quarter, see how they're defending me, see how they're defending my teammates. And I thought he would have made an adjustment by the second quarter to be more aggressive, to look for his shot a little bit more and try to get to the rim. And the second that wasn't happening, the other guys weren't able to get off as much. And I want to look here right now. They had 18 points in the second quarter. Wow, look at this. Big surprise. Jimmy Butler decides to take a little bit more shots in the third quarter and is a little bit more aggressive. They get 30 points in the quarter. And like I said, it's not a matter of him shooting the ball every single time. But if you are a player, and I know when you get into a certain spot that you are going to pass the ball, it makes it easier to guard you. And that's what we saw last night. The other aspect in this Miami Heat game plan last night was early on they were trying to make Draymond Green a shooter and a decision maker very early. And I think that helped them out. Even though Dre has had a really good year shooting the basketball from three, it's the same in Jimmy Butler where when Draymond is attacking towards the basket, 9 out of 10 times he's going to pass the ball out. And I think that Eric Spoelstra and the Miami Heat anticipated that, and that was a huge part of their game plan, and it was very successful. Last, we want to talk about Bam Adebayo having 27 points on 9 of 18 shooting, 2 of 3 from 3, 7 of 9 from the line, 8 rebounds. That part is really awesome. The part that really stuck out to me was Draymond Green wasn't allowed to be the quarterback of the defense last night. In a lot of actions, Draymond Green was on the strong side of the court, not the weak side. Bam would bring the ball up. They would have Draymond a pass over. So that person who is there to dictate where everyone is going to go, hey, I need you to go over here. I need you at the nail. I need you at the dunker. I need the person who is setting up his players on defense to stop plays, right, just by putting someone in the right spot, wasn't able to do that. He wasn't damn near all of their actions in the first half, it felt like. Whether it was Bam going in there, if he was on Khalil Ware, they were forcing Draymond to have to get into an athleticism battle with him. It was a great game plan to try to take Draymond Green out of where he was successful. And in terms of one-on-one, by the way, since we were talking about one-on-one, Michael Beasley said the only person to ever beat him was Bam Adebayo. And as great of a defender that I think Draymond Green is, even in one-on-one scenarios, if you're going at him full court, there's not much he or anyone is going to be able to do to stop him. And so, that was I think just great game planning out of the Miami Heat of doing a couple of those things to target both Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo. And if the Golden State Warriors are looking to be legitimate championship contenders, We can't. I've said it, but I've said this before. Jimmy can't be going out there 28 minutes with 11 points. He just can't. I get that Brandon Podziemski is a very solid player in this league. But Jimmy's going to have to come in with like 25 to 30 a game. And the same as Steph. I've said the same thing about I said the same thing about the Cleveland Cavaliers, right? Your two best guys are going to have to give you at least 50 a game. Because Jimmy Butler being aggressive is going to open up his teammates. It's going to open up opportunities for Steph. It's going to open up shots for Moses Moody, for Buddy Hield, for Post, Kuminga, so on and so forth. The defense was able to just stay at home last night. And I think, we talk a lot about schemes, game plans, and whatnot. If you can try to stay in single man coverage in the NBA, and you could be successful in that, that goes a really, really long way. And that's what we saw last night. We saw last night that the Miami Heat were able to stay in single coverage against Jimmy Butler, and the other guys were not able to get off. Podziemski 6 of 16, Moody 3 of 13, 4 of 10 for Kuminga. I mean, the guys they were shooting contested shots, having to take guys one-on-one because Jimmy Butler wasn't getting into the teeth of the defense, kicking it out for open shots. And so that one-on-one shit is still extremely important in the league. It's extremely important in the league, and I don't want that to ever get lost, right? Because I think there's, I remember there was a clip of Bron talking about, everybody wants to talk about their ones, which I get it comes off a way coming from LeBron, one of, you could argue 1-2 best players ever, but it makes sense coming from a guy from LeBron. LeBron James was never a one-on-one player. Even in his prime, he wasn't gonna go into a bag and break you down. What did he used to do? He used to literally take 2 steps back and just sprint at you from the 3-point line. Because there's nothing you could do. He didn't need a move. And so yeah, man, that stuff is super important, and we saw it work against the Golden State Warriors last night. Now, for the Miami Heat, they're only gonna go as far as Bam goes. Bam Adebayo's really good at basketball, and I think that's why the year looks so. It looks so crazy what his numbers look like this year. Because if we can get a Bam to like a 28 and 12, 30 and 12, somewhere around that range, I genuinely think he is that good of a talent and he has that much skill. Granted, to do it night in and night out is a totally different question, but their success will only go as far as Bam Adebayo will go. Yo, this just the man. Hey, this is just the man I was looking for. Butler, not a Robin. He is a Butler. I respect Bam and getting ages. Hello, what's good? What's good, Big Brucey? What's good? What you thought of that game last night, man? I don't think the Heat going anywhere neither because Bam has never been that type of player that's like, give me the fucking ball. If Bam were the type of player that, hey, I don't give a fuck what play y'all got. Give me the ball. It would be a totally different. We'd be talking about something totally different. But that's just not in his character. But what did you think of that game last night, Bruce? I think we gotta see a little bit more of Jimmy being takeover playoff Jimmy. I'ma just probe and pass the ball around and set picks. That shit's not gonna fly. And Yo, you are in your bag. Oh shit. Um Honestly, Jimmy is Himmy. He played like he had a hammy. He played scared. And this is the thing, right? And I know we were talking about scoring yesterday, Bruce, right? I personally would have wanted to see Jimmy put up 25 shots and score 30 something points last night. Where it win, lose or draw, whether it looked good or not, I wanted to see that type of Jimmy Butler last night. That I mean, he'd been saying fuck you to the Miami Heat the whole week. He might as well have shot 25 times. It's like he pulled up to Miami and showed them why they traded him. We traded you because you're not going to go and get 28 points a night for us. It's just, you going to wait. You going to wait till the playoffs to do that? We need the regular season still. And he can't rely on Steph being Steph. He just can't. Because they might need a series where Jimmy is just doing him. They might need a series where Jimmy is kind of carrying the load and Steph gets to kind of be the decoy and go off in games here and there. But that needs to be their dynamic. My voice is cracked. But that needs to be their dynamic. He can't just sit there and just wait and wait and wait and wait and wait. If he keeps waiting, they're going to have an early summer. They didn't get him to be a 15-point per game scorer. And I don't know what the fuck their conversations were going into this. Yeah, we can win a championship, yada, 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 defense. That's all great. You got to put up points, bro. There are very few championship teams that we have seen that don't average in the top 5, top 10 in points per game in the year. It just don't happen. Scoring is still a very key part of the game. And this passive shit that Jimmy's doing, I don't think it's going to fly in the playoffs. I don't think it's going to fly in the playoffs. Like I said before, I think that they could potentially be a bad matchup for the Oklahoma City Thunder. They could be. But if you tell me that over a 7-game series, we can keep Lou Dort on Jimmy Butler and he can potentially contain him, then I don't like how that series looks for the Warriors. Because him forcing help defenders to come is going to open everybody else up. And so, I don't know what it is, man. I don't know what got into him last night. I wish he would have put up 25 shots last night. It would have been nice to see him put up 25 shots as a big fuck you to Miami. But that's not what happened. That's not how it worked out. And it is what it is, man. It is what the fuck it is. Let's see. What y'all think about SGA? Speaking of scoring, right? What do you guys think about SGA joining MJ, Wilt, and the Big O as the only players to have 65 straight 20-plus point games? Like I said, I feel like more so than last year, I've seen a lot more criticism about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's game. And I think genuinely that's a part of it, right? You know, you can only have so much success until people start hyper critiquing all the things that you're doing. Do I think he has some moments where he is chucking the ball and taking too many shots? Absolutely. But that comes with the territory and as being a scorer in the league, right? You know, they have the best defense in the NBA, the Oklahoma City Thunder do, but they also have the highest scorer in the league. And I don't think that's an accident. Like we said, scoring is extremely important in the league still. Maybe Jimmy needs to take some of SGA's morning routines. I don't know what the fuck they got to do. But another victory for the Oklahoma City Thunder guys. They're the first to 60, I think, right? They're the first to 60 wins. I honestly, I wanted to bring this up about the Sacramento Kings because in watching them play, I saw someone say they're like they need a point guard, and I started laughing because the funny thing is they do, and they had one, and now he's gone. I think the mistake came over the summer for them. Out of the two players that they got out of Chicago, right? If that was their options, if those were their options, right? DeMar or Zach LaVine, they made a real mistake, in my opinion, in getting DeMar DeRozan over Zach LaVine. Because, granted, Zach can score in isolation situations, right? But Zach LaVine is much more of a shooter and a three-point threat than DeMar is. He's a far better shooter than DeMar. And I think he would have fit their offense a lot better with, when De'Aaron Fox was there to go with Domantas Sabonis, Keegan Murray, and all of these guys. I think Zach would have fit that team a lot better than DeMar could have. And now the Sacramento Kings are kind of facing the issues that they had in Chicago where, and we've talked about this with DeMar earlier on this year, but the ball really stops with him. And I think it's a lot more apparent now that, in this NBA where he's getting forced to shoot a lot more threes, right? I mean, he only shot 3 last night. But if he's shooting a lot more catch and shoot threes, added on top of he's catching, isolating, jab, dribble, spin, like the offense is very stagnant with DeMar DeRozan. And I don't know what they could do with the Sacramento Kings team. I mean, they have some talent. Right, these guys all have talent. Keegan Murray's solid. Domantas Sabonis has obviously been a very good player in this league. Didn't look like it last night, but excuse me. It's just this is a fractured team. If I'm Sabonis, I'm asking out. I'll be honest with you. If I'm Domantas Sabonis, I am asking out of the Sacramento Kings, and we could use him in New York. Hey man, we need us a little point guard. We could use him in New York, low key. We could use him in New York, as especially on a team like the Kings with DeMar, Keegan Murray, and Zach LaVine. Those three players can score the basketball, right? They're not super pressed for points, and so. I just this Sacramento Kings team is super fractured. It's super fractured team. Now to go from the best team in the West to the best team in the East, right? I wanted to give the Cleveland Cavaliers some praise. Regardless of whether I think they're a championship contending team or not, we'll talk about that in just a second. I like watching these guys play. Right? When you look in the league, there's so many teams on fast breaks that, 1 point, whoever is in the middle of the floor is going to take the middle of the floor, and guys fan out to the corner, or someone will stop at the slot or at the wing and look for 3-point shots. It's really nice to see the Cleveland Cavaliers where everyone is heading towards the rim. And I personally think a major difference between the Cleveland Cavaliers and every other team, or most other teams in the NBA, is this, right? The NBA right now, you have the ultimate green light to shoot the basketball in the NBA. And on the Cleveland Cavaliers, they have the green light to be aggressive and make a play. We are seeing on catch and shoot opportunities, we're getting a lot of pump fake drives, right? Because players are helping out. They're trying to get out to the three-point shooter. Instead of settling for that shot, we can pump fake drive. We'll have the alley-oop. We can kick out to someone that has a more open shot than we do, or so on and so forth. And I think that is a major, major difference between the Cleveland Cavaliers and other teams. They have a green light to attack and be aggressive and make plays, while other teams have the green light to shoot the basketball. And it's really nice to watch. It's really, really nice to watch. It was a great game for Cleveland. It was a great game for Cleveland. Granted, Portland was having a lot of success against them, right? And I'll give the Portland Trail Blazers this credit, and I think this is probably a Chauncey Billups thing. They make a lot of plays from the wing. A lot of teams now, I feel like they'll run high pick and rolls from the top of the key and just kind of play off of that. But Portland they make a lot of plays from the wing, whether it's getting an open shot and shooting it. But similar to Cleveland, they're attacking off of the wing. It opens up the other side of the floor. It opens up shooters. It opens up driving up opportunities, alley-oops. And it was giving Cleveland a lot of credit. Now, if you've watched the Cleveland Cavaliers, when games are tough, you can expect them to pull out some type of zone in the third quarter. They have done it time and again. They typically do it in the third quarter. So if you are a team that is going up against them, especially in the playoffs, you have to know that at some point in the third quarter, they are probably going to pull out a zone defense on you guys. It just is what it is. They do it time and again in the third quarter. Let me see who else. Evan Mobley I think Evan Mobley Evan Mobley played really solid last night as well. 21-12 and 4 rebounds, 4 assists. Especially with Donovan Mitchell out, I saw quite a bit of isolation plays for Evan Mobley, especially when he has the other bigs on him. They like to isolate him on the right side of the floor. Something to watch out for, right? If he can get a left 1-2 dribble pull-up consistently, and they're isolating him on the right side of the floor, I think it'll go a really long way. Not just for him, but for their team. Right? Because in that situation, let me see if I could pull it up. Let me see if I could pull up some of these, right? Because if you are Evan Mobley, right, and they isolate you on the right side of the court, teams are going to try to force you towards the middle, right, and to help defense. If he can manage to hit some of those one dribble pull-up going to the left, it'll force defenses to come up a lot higher to help him. And now behind that defense, you're going to have a man advantage in one way or the other. You're going to have cutters that are going to be able to get to the rim. The corner three is going to open up on rotation. So I think that's one very simple and key thing that he needs to learn. I think it'll go a very, very long way for him. Because he's really good. He's really good, man. Ty Jerome was going off last night. So, I want to give a lot of credit to the Cleveland Cavaliers because I do think that they have some very, very good players. But what can they do, right? What can they do to become a championship contender? I think it comes down to Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley could be their ultimate mismatch. And a team that runs such great offense when the playoff comes in and they're slowing you down and now teams are taking you out of some of your schemes, right? They're going to force certain players on certain sides. They're going to force Darius Garland to have to go left instead of going right, X, Y, and Z. Evan Mobley can be the ultimate mismatch because I think he's too quick for bigs, and obviously he's too big for smaller players. Granted, do I think he can do that at this point in time? No. But I think if they keep this team together and he continues to develop, he can be the ultimate guy that can get them over the hump. If they can post him up at the box, isolate him a little bit more to go along with the great offense that they have, I think you potentially have a championship contending team. But until then, I don't see it. And the unfortunate part is like I said, they have some really, really good players on their team. Max Strus is very solid. Ty Jerome is very solid. You know, Jared Allen and Evan Mobley might be the best big duo, or arguably the best big duo in the NBA. DeAndre Hunter is very solid as well too. So you're just talking about a team that's got a lot of talent, right? And here I just found a little one-on-one scenario. Let's take a look at Evan Mobley in a one-on-one. They like isolating him here, and as you can see, they were trying to man up, but he needs to help on this side, right? Evan Mobley's gonna try to get to his right hand, but they're trying to prevent that.
Mobley fakes the three, put it on the deck, forced out into the corner, waiting for Cutter.
This is what can happen if Evan Mobley can be more effective in these situations, right? Some of these plays where you don't necessarily have a play where things can break down, he can create offense for you just off of his size and skill. I could see KD going to Cleveland. Ooh, what would that look like? You would have to play him with everybody else, right? Right, Bruce? You think he would have? It would have to be Garland, Mitchell, KD with Mobley and Jared Allen, right? Because you can't sit Evan Mobley. Like, unfortunately, I don't think, and for me personally, I would want my team to be as big as possible. What the Cleveland Cavaliers have right now that offsets their smaller guards is that they have a big front court. And Evan Mobley, who's skinny, right? He can still get bodied a little bit, but I like that lineup. That's a good shout. I've never even thought about Kevin Durant potentially going to Cleveland, but he definitely could fuck some things up. And, you know, on this team, and I've talked about it before, where Darius Garland could sometimes turn into Tyrese Halliburton and shoot fucking 7 times and get 9 points in a game that they really need him to go and shoot 15 to 20 times. You won't have that problem with Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant walks in and 28 is up on the and there's 28 on the box score. So that could solve a lot for Cleveland. Kevin Durant isn't going to be required to be some defensive stopper. He could do what he was doing well for the Warriors, which was be a solid help defender, right? If you put Kevin Durant in a position where he needs to just be in certain spots and he could just be tall, he looks like a much better defender than some people give him credit for, right? He's not all of a sudden some defensive player, but being tall and being in the right spot goes a long way. And so I like that shout. That's a really, really good shout. That's a really good shout. I think also, Bruce, right? Imagine him teaching Evan Mobley. Imagine Kevin Durant and Evan Mobley going one-on-one every single day. And Evan Mobley just learning. Didn't Evan Mobley say like around All-Star weekend that he can see him and Wemby going at MVPs? Right? I think I remembered seeing. I remember that. I could be wrong, but I swear I remember him saying that. To your point, Bruce, KD plus Evan Mobley could be a really, really dangerous little duo that, you know, he could really help Evan Mobley out a lot. Man, this Portland Trailblazers team sucks on defense. I just seen two players run away from the basketball. I think so too. And you know, but the thing about that, right? Mobley has his aggression has gone up going towards the rim, right? So I would hope that he doesn't lose that aspect of his game. But learning a little bit, you know, playing off the jab and whatnot, I think would really help Evan Mobley a lot. And like I said, I think he could potentially be the difference between them being championship contenders versus not being championship contenders, right? Let me see what else. Oh, well, I can't go without covering this, right? Because I saw a little bit of LeBron on the Pat McAfee show. How you go on his show and not on Stephen A's show? And I get that he had a problem with some stuff that Stephen A said, and I hate the fact that Stephen A apologized, basically. I genuinely hate the fact that Stephen A said, oh, I might have been wrong. Because the clip of him that's been circulating where he said he doesn't think that Bronny is an NBA player yet, that he could get there. But Stephen A said he needs to go take some time in the G League and then come up in the NBA. What are you apologizing for, bro? They did exactly what you said. Exactly what you said. He went to the G League, gained confidence, had some good games, and he's translating it to the NBA. The fuck are we apologizing for? The fact that Stephen A should have went, motherfucker, this is what I said. They're doing exactly what I said. He missed an opportunity. He missed an opportunity. Lakers playing Pacers and shows based in Indiana. McAfee is a LeBron. I think it's funny. Ain't Stephen A in LA? Isn't Stephen A in LA? Like, listen, man. Like, again, and y'all could attest to this, right? I've never been a hater of Bronny. I actually said I think he has the potential to be a solid NBA player. The tools are there. It's just a matter of getting some confidence, getting some experience under him. And that's exactly what he's doing, and we're seeing it translate. I mean, the boy just had 39. I mean, he just had 39 in a G League game, and I get it. It's the G League, but 21.9, 5.5 assists, 5.2 rebounds, 2 steals on 46% shooting from the field, 37.5 from 3, and 80 from the free throw line. Those are solid numbers, and he just went and had 17 in an NBA game. But again, he is doing exactly what Stephen A had said. Gain some experience in the G League and come up. Magic Johnson said the same shit. Magic said the same shit. You don't see LeBron going up to him? Man, I really wanted Stephen A to stand on business when it came to that, man, but he just didn't. The narrative said Stephen A on that Taylor Swift tour. I hope the Swifties don't come after him. Now LeJuice thinking about maybe playing with his other son, SMH. Listen, dog, if he stay around till Bryce, like, I don't know. It's funny too, cause like you'll see NBA guys like, my knees hurt watching him play, like, and they all in their 40s. They're like, how the fuck is he still doing this? And genetics, I guess. Genetics, I guess. Wink, wink. I don't know. But shout out to Bronny, man. Shout out to Bronny because, like I said, I think he has handled this situation as good as you could as someone that's been thrown into this spotlight. And again, the one thing that I genuinely hate is when we play fucking dumb. LeBron knows they cover everything he does on SportsCenter, ESPN, from what he eats to when he takes a leak. Why would your son be any different? And it's not about being fair. We're just talking about how real life works. I saw a clip the other day. Gilbert Arenas talking about, oh, we don't talk about all the other draft picks from this year and that year. Motherfucker, no one talks about them. Out of the 50, 60 players that get drafted every year, we only talk about 5 of them. This ain't new. Let's not act like this is something new. Bronny got a target on his back because of his daddy. That is not a secret and not a surprise. I just that whole situation to me is just super confusing, man. Super confusing. What else we got over here, man? Hey, I keep talking about the Orlando Magic. Them boys keep getting some gritty wins, man. I'm still high on them in the playoffs because they like gritty, like just muddy games. And when you talk about their two best players are damn near the 2 biggest players on the floor as well too. Why is my dog tweaking? But it goes a long way in the playoffs, man. It'll go a really long way in the playoffs. We'll see. We'll see. But I'm super hyped. When the fuck does the playoffs start? Let's see. When does this shit start? That dude Paolo is, dog. He is massive. I seen one guy, they're better with Franz versus with him. I'm like, shut the fuck up, man. Like, they need each other. I think they're both learning how to play with each other with each and every game. I think, this is the biggest thing too, right? Trust. Right? When it comes to the NBA, trust is a massive thing. Your star players have to be able to trust the other players on the floor. I think when it comes to the Orlando Magic, Paolo Banchero trusts Franz Wagner. Right? A massive thing when it comes to the Boston Celtics. They trust all of those players to shoot and make plays. Cleveland is the same thing, right? Trust goes a really long way in the NBA. You have to trust guys to make plays and take shots so that it can open yourself up. And when you talk about the Orlando Magic being a gritty defensive team, you have a one-on-one scorer in Paolo Banchero that can score in a half court. You have a Franz Wagner who could do the same thing. And, oh, by the way, they're bigger than y'all. So, I like their chances. I don't think anyone wants to see them guys in the first round of the playoffs, man. April 15 to 18 is the play-in tournament, and April 19 is when the NBA playoffs begin. So we'll that's right around the corner, y'all. That's right around the corner. I know I'm gonna be away. Away at the end of May, so it'll literally be right around the conference finals, but we'll see what happens, man. We'll see. I'm gonna try my best to catch those games, but we'll get into that a little bit later. But lastly, because I know y'all love talking about my New York Knicks. I know y'all love my New York Knicks, man. Especially you, Bruce. I know you love when I talk about the New York Knicks. Are the Knicks losing tonight to the Clippers? I don't know, man. I don't know. But I will say, Nah, 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 nah. Buddy of mine's getting married, so we had said yes for a long time. So we're gonna be, so you know, we gonna be, we'll be back in New York in that time. So I'll be watching the game still, man. I'm not ducking shit. But I will say here for the New York Knicks, right? I will say this because I've been hard on them. I know I posted the video. Knicks fan crashes out because I think deservingly so. Karl Anthony Towns got a triple-double. Josh Hart got a triple-double in the same game, and OG had 35. None of those have anything to do with my issue with the New York Knicks, right? Points are not our problem. Granted, do I think our offense could be a little bit smoother, right? Could we get into some certain different actions that I think will get us better looks? Absolutely. Can we defend the other teams? Number one, and number two, can we beat the best teams in the league, being the Celtics, the Cavaliers, the Thunder, and whoever the fuck else is in the West? That is the biggest question mark for the New York Knicks, because I don't think we could deny that we are one of the 6 to 8 best teams in the league, right? Because all that really means to me is we can beat the fuck up out of everyone under us. It's about being able to beat the teams that are above us. And that's just something we can't do right now. We don't need more points. It's great to see OG be able to score. It's great to see Cat still doing his thing. Mikal is scoring, and so on and so forth. Can we defend in the postseason? What I'm hoping for in a half-court setting is that OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges can do their best as wing defenders in one-on-one scenarios, right? I think if they can try to contain the wings on other teams, and if Karl Anthony Towns stops picking up 3 fucking fouls by the second quarter, I think we can compete. I will say that. I think we can compete. But again, it remains to be seen. I think the biggest positive out of all of this, right, is El Capitan, Jalen Brunson, has been resting. That boy been getting beat up. That boy been getting beat up for the last 2-3 years. And so to see him get a little bit of rest, you know, because he's been getting a beating, right? As 6'2" frame. I get that he's this bulky point guard, but he's been getting beat up. So less miles on his body. He gets to come into the playoffs fresh. I think it's a positive. I think it's a positive, right? It'll really come down to matchups. It'll absolutely come down to matchups. Right now, if the playoffs were to start today, we would have the Detroit Pistons. And I like our chances against the Detroit Pistons. Now, that potential matchup after that could be the Boston Celtics, and I don't like that at all. I don't like that at all. Brother, give me the Pistons and then the Bucks or the Pacers in rounds 1 and 2, and I am fucking happy. But if we are going to draw the Celtics or some shit, dog, I'm going to be tight. I'm going to be tight. But hey, man, that's going to do it for me for now. I really appreciate y'all for hanging out with me. As always, man, before I get out of here, please like, comment, and subscribe. All that good stuff. It really helps the channel out. As always, thank you, Derpy, for coming in, showing some love. Bruce, I appreciate the convos with you every single time, man. But the Bucks are fucking cooked. Those guys that... What's worse for them, Bruce, this basically shuts the door on them getting Giannis. I think he's going to ask for a trade at the end by the summer. I think Giannis is out of there. I think Giannis is out of there. Nah, stop. See, why you gotta say go Clippers for, man? Why you gotta say go Clippers for when we playing them tonight? Man. And you know what's funny? I kind of like the Clippers. I think that if you draw the Clippers in the first round, I would not be happy. Like the Rockets possibly drawing the Clippers or the Timberwolves in the first round, that's ass. That's ass. And we've talked about this before, but this might be the deepest playoff picture we have seen in a long time or ever. We're seeing Hall of Famers in the 8th seed. All-stars, All-NBA, former All-NBA caliber players in the 8th seed. So being a 1 or 2 seed is not you are not benefiting from being a 1 or 2 seed this year, but that's going to do it for me for now, man. I really appreciate y'all. As always, thank you so much. Thank you, Bruce. Thank you, Derpy. I will see y'all on Friday. Y'all could have been anywhere on the internet, but y'all were here with me, and I appreciate you for that. So thank you so much. I'll see y'all on Friday, man. Y'all have a good one. Peace, 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 peace. I'll see y'all later, man.